Many economists and historians and policymakers, so-called policy elites, commentators, they comment on the current world order. From the point of view as a developmental economist and engineer, of course as the chief of UNOP, I'm just wondering what would be your perspective on the future of a new world order. What should it look like? What kind of interests should they take into account going forward?
I think that the new order is an order that should be framed by the UN values and principles. It still makes sense to pursue the UN values and principles, the UN Charter. I think that the new order, or this order, must keep always peace and the people at the center. But also the sustained development concept, it's probably the best way to approach this, the dilemmas we face. We are living in a polycrisis context. We are really living in an era where the challenges have been compounding. That's why some scientists even call it a polycrisis context. If you take a look of what has happened in the last 5 or 6 years, we see a refugee crisis, we saw a pandemic, we see climate conflicts, trade tensions, and therefore this is one crisis after the other. This is a moment where all governments, all states should provide a response where we will say the here and the now is not good enough. What I mean is the following: a response that is just about today and not thinking about the next generations. Policies that are not good enough to respond not only to the current problems, but also to the future problems, are not aligned with the needs. But also policies that are just about here and not here and there, I mean policies that are just good enough for a specific country, but will not contribute to the global development, obviously will make more difficult to establish sustainable development globally. That's why I think that UN is still a fantastic concept, because the United Nations is the United Nations. It's not the Secretariat of the United Nations. This is a members-led organization. It's not a members-managed organization. The management is the Secretariat, it's Secretary General, and it's all of us leading agencies. But really, it's the political will of the country that matter. They are the shareholders. It's a members-led organization. So what I really hope is in a moment where we are facing is essential crisis, war, conflicts, poverty, climate, I hope that all United Nations will recommit with this project of peace and development.
Talking about cooperation with China, what do you hope to achieve by meeting with your Chinese counterparts and talking with relevant agencies and departments during your stay here in China this time around?
Well, China has been a key protagonist of development. China has been supporting developing countries in many continents, including in Africa, partnering to support them on development. The Global Development Initiative, Belt and Road Initiative are just examples of commitment from China in partnering with developing countries. At the same time, UNOPS is partnering with developing countries, with donors, with multilateral development banks, and with other UN agencies, precisely to support developing countries on infrastructure.